Welcome to the She Pub Network, where we talk books, authors, and publishers. I am Shenitha, CEO and founder of She Publishing LLC, and we will be continuing the conversation, part two of the Yellow Brick Road towards purpose and profit. So I will continue to explore chapter 7 of Unleashing Your Daily Brilliance from my latest publication, From Projects to Publisher, Navigating the Chapters of Life While Maximizing Your Lane. And I will be joined by publisher and author Dr. Calenthia Miller, author of UNMASK, as well as publisher and author Kimmoly LaBoo, publisher of How to Build a Six-Figure Business While Working a 9 to 5. Now, before we get into this yellow brick road to purpose and profit, I would like to tell you guys a little bit about some of the things that's going on um, the upcoming year 2026. We just finished celebrating Veterans Day. So, thank you to the veterans, the people who served our country, and then we are coming up on the Thanksgiving holiday. So I don't know if y'all cooking some, but if you're cooking something good, put your name in the chat, where you're from and what you're cooking, okay? And give me some ideas, some recipes, something, because my family will be looking for something new for me to cook, y'all. I'm all about desserts and snacks, but let's see some of the things that we have going on that's going to be popping up is the Lit Fest. The Lit Fest is coming to you October 2nd and 3rd, 2026. It will be at the Chicago Marriott Midway. And so, what we're doing is we're bringing together, hey, books, authors, and publishers. Hey, we're bringing together authors, entrepreneurs, anyone who would like to promote what they're doing. And soon, we will be putting out that link for that. We also have coming up at the end of this month, November 30th, we will be talking Dr. Peabody, which is a publication by Omia Tylett. We're going to be doing that on Confessions of a Publisher. That's a book club. If you are not a part of Confessions of a Publisher, go to Facebook and join that platform so that we can, share your story and talk about your story as well. Um, I know we have some other things happening as well. And guess what? We so futuristic, y'all, that we are having the Lit Fest 2026. But one of our other sister publishing companies will be having their first annual sneakers fall brunch that will be in October of 2027. It will be the Lit Fest in North Carolina. So it's a lot of things that we have going on. I'm going to post it on our website, our events page, www.shepublishingllc.com. But to start with today's show, the 3 books, the Yellow Brick Road, purpose, towards purpose and profit. And so, without further ado, I'd like to introduce my co-host for today, and that is Dr. Calenthia Miller, as well as Kimmoly LaBoo.
Hello, hello,
Hi.
hello. How
Hey,
are you?
ladies.
Hello.
Yeah, so we are publishers, y'all, okay? That is so exciting, right?
It is
It is.
exciting.
Man,
It is.
so mhm.
No, I was saying it is. It's so good to be able to be among our sisters that are doing like things. So this is wonderful.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into this conversation. And so again, me and Kimmoly, we discussed our books and we're gonna continue to discuss them. And again, how to build a 6-figure business while working a 9 to 5, and from projects to publisher, navigating the chapters of life while maximizing your lane. But we actually wanted to pull in Unmasked because this book is so relatable to the 2 other books in a different way. And one of the reasons why I absolutely adore all 3 of these books is because they work hand in hand and they are meaningful. in so many different ways that you wouldn't even. Masks is a fiction book. So, Dr. C, can you let us know the purpose and the meaning behind you writing Unmasked and how it relates to what me and Kimberly talked about last week?
Sure. So first off, thank you for allowing me to be on this platform. It's truly an honor. So the meaning behind Unmasked, I had a stroke 3 years ago, and I needed to find an outlet. And as a woman, we have so many things that we have that's on our plates. And so Unmasked was just the story of us being able to unmask all the things that we go through every day, whether we are wives, whether we are entrepreneurs, whether we are mothers, whether we are doing a 9 to 5 or 6 to 12, we always have something that we're doing. And so I felt like, let me put this, what I've gone through, let me put this in a book because somebody else is going through this. It's okay to be able to take off the mask, take off the makeup, and just be ourselves some days. It's okay to say, I'm not okay. And so I wanted to put it in a book to be relatable and also allow myself to be able to heal through writing, because I had been writing since I was about 9 years old. So I had to go back to my place of enjoyment, my place of peace. And so writing allowed me to do this. And when I heard this voice in my head, Unmasked, I said, there it is. And so we're now on book 5 on Unmasked in the series. And we have 2 more to go. So as it relates to what you guys were talking about, the main character in this book, Miss Anya has a lot of things that she has to unpack. And as women trying to get to that profitability, we have to unmask some things and dig deep and try to figure out, how do we align ourselves with good people that are going to put us in a space where we can get to, as my son said, the bag. Right. And so I think with her, it's this combination of having good people around her, but also allowing them to be able to say, look, you're not right today. Let me tell you what you did wrong. And so I think that's the kind of the bridge that you have with Unmasked and what you guys talked about last week, which it was an amazing conversation last week.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, so my question about Anya is, what did she have a 9 to 5? I mean, was she working a 9 to 5
Yeah.
and getting her 6-figure business? Like,
Oh
what
yeah,
was that about?
She was all about her money, but she also knew that in order to do that, she had to surround herself with people. It wasn't always about the money. It was all about building the relationships to get to the money. And so having, those people that say, Leah, which is another character in the book, Leah was that person that we all had that really told you about your stuff. She didn't do it out in the street. She pulled you to the side and said, hey, sis, let me tell you what's wrong on that today, and then of course we have that masculine figures that come into play. But those two women, Leah and Anya, are very opposites, but it works.
Yep. So, like, I love when you talk about like building your own community, your own circle, which is a second part of From Projects to Publisher that I'm coming out with, about building your own table, because sometimes you're not invited to other people's tables, and that is totally fine. What I say is, it's not about arrogance, it's about alignment. And so
Oh yeah.
one of the chapter 7, Unleashing Your Daily Brilliance, I talk about not underestimating the power of your existing network. And before I dig in, I just wanted to know, and especially from Kimmoly, did you utilize your existing network when you began building your 6-figure business while working your 9 to 5? What did that look like for you?
Absolutely. Some of the people on my team, well, just about right now, all of them were people that I knew prior to, right, building my business. And so I had people that I could trust, when I first started building. And also the relationships that I had built, like in previous businesses, or, because before that I had a mentoring program for teenage girls. And so I, came in contact with a lot of moms and everything. And so to date, really, my business has been built primarily on word of mouth. People referring people. It's not because I've run ads or anything like that. It really is just because people who they say that know, like, and trust factor, they refer me, right? Of course, we, are about our business so that they can refer, but a lot of those relationships are what has allowed me to be as successful as I am in this business. And it's because of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I would say, we are I always, me and Shenitha have this run-in joke about you don't have to solicit, it's going to come to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you talk about word of mouth, that means that that people trust what you do. And so that's the big factor to that. Yeah, we have this big thing about social media, but we need to get back to that old fashioned, let's talk, let's have conversations. And that's how you build those relationships, because it's not about social media. It's about really sitting down around the table and having those conversations and being able to see what your facial expressions are and how your body language is when you're sitting at the table with somebody. So I agree with, word of mouth and being able to quote unquote saying, I don't have to solicit, it's going to come to me because I'm doing it in the right reason, in the right fashion.
Yeah, it really has been a blessing in my business.
Yeah.
Because every time I'm around somebody saying, I know somebody who,
Yeah.
I connect you with this person. And so it really is all about relationships.
It is. I agree. Totally.
Yeah, it really is. And I will say, starting She Publishing, and I think we all were professionals before we started our company. So we probably gained a lot of that professionalism from where we worked,
Absolutely.
And that's what I love about how to build a six-figure business while working your 9 to 5, because you are getting skills, like you say in your book. You're getting those skills and you building relationships, and people are seeing how you work. So that was one of my existing networks, just people knowing how professional I am, even though I have not published anybody's book in the profession that I am, because I'm a leader in that profession and I just don't want that conflict of interest. Maybe when I get like Kimmoly, I'm able to retire and everything, I can then, they gonna be looking. So you got to think futuristically, but also it was my mother, who we call Mama She. She was in my existing network. It was my children, my husband, my sister-in-law. She did a lot of the editing and stuff, and she actually still does some of my book covers, even though she doesn't do it professionally. But she's good, and that's where it started, because you can't always pay the people when you're first starting a business, but I have learned how to add that cost so that you can pay your employees and who's working for you to do what they're doing. And sometimes an author is like, hold up, it costs this much. Yeah, editing is a lot. Yes. Somebody's taking their time to make your book cover. Yes.
Absolutely. That's one of the biggest expenses.
Yes, it is.
So I say you can't skimp on your editing. You cannot skimp on your cover design.
Nope.
No.
One of the most important things, the ins and the outs.
That's right.
Yes. Wow. So to the viewers, what we're trying to let anybody know who's trying to, build a business. It don't have to necessarily be a six-figure business, but just it has to do with relationships, and that is important, So, yeah, what are some other things you think,
I think sitting around with like-minded people is very important too. Even though we have had our 9 to 5 before we came into this publishing arena, as you said, building the professionalism that goes along with it allows you, as you said, you're getting ready to do another book about whether or not you need to create a table for yourself. But even if you're creating a table and have the opportunity to sit at another table, you are you're inviting yourself to be able to say, look, I'm professional enough to sit at this table. I can hold my own at this table. Yeah, you might be making 6 figures, but that's okay. But I could still have a conversation with you. So being able to still sit at the table with other people and have a conversation that is meaningful, then you've done your job. And then you take what you got from that table and just mix it up and take it to your table. It's okay, because you're building your brand, you're building who you are, you're building what people are expecting when you have your own table now. So I think having that ability to really still networking is very important as well, to networking and making sure that you're visible, because I tell people all the time, in order for your business to grow, you have to be visible. You can't be sitting in the background and people are like, well, what's her name? What's she do? Who is she?
Exactly.
So you have to be visible. So I think having the ability to sit at these tables, take in that knowledge, and be able to say, look, I don't know all this. So, can you help me with this? And what I'm finding as I've been walking the walk with this business is a lot of people don't want to give up information unless you got some money to give to them. And I think that is so sad, that we are so quick to want to have our hand out for money where somebody gave you the opportunity. So, how about every now and then, pay it forward, and it makes a difference, because that's where your blessings come in at anyway.
That's true. And I do think that this plays well with the chapter in how to build a 6-figure business while working a 9 to 5. I have a chapter in there that's invest like a boss, stop being cheap with your vision. So there's an element to this, though, that it is worth investing in your business. And sometimes when you invest in coaching, or, before a business coach or a mastermind or things like that, there is a proximity to greatness that happens that allows you to sit at certain tables with certain people and get access to other people's networks. And so I want people to embrace that mindset too, especially while you're working a 9 to 5. If you're building your business while you're doing that, that allows you to be able to invest at a certain level that maybe you wouldn't be able to once you come out and you're trying to hold it all together because you don't have that steady paycheck. But while you can and you're in there, I would say invest, like I said, invest like a boss. If you are trying to grow a 6-figure business, you are going to have to invest. There's a lot of free stuff out here that can get you but so far. But at some point you have to invest. And especially if when you are running your own business, you're going to expect for people to invest in you. You have to be willing to invest in yourself.
Yes, that's key.
Yeah. And then I've met some amazing people from investing and getting into those rooms and getting around certain people. And I have incredible networks now that came from things that I've invested in, masterminds that I've invested in to grow not only my business, but my personal development and professional development.
Totally agree with that, like 120%, that you definitely have to invest in yourself, in your business, and in others as well. And that's how you make that connection, giving back. And again, continuous learning and never stop trying new things, which is another section in that unleashing your daily brilliance, because you should always be willing to go to a mastermind, and you may have to invest in that, or learn about formatting if you want to do that. There's some things in this industry, in publishing, that I'm not interested in doing, and I'm going to pay to get it done because I need the professional to do it,
Exactly.
And and that's just, again, you investing, in that. So I absolutely,
business.
Yeah. When you go to, and so you can't just always just sit in the comfort of your own home and post a social media post and think that you about to get book sales just because you posting all these posts every day.
That's that part.
No, like
That's
you have to do something different. Like you got to go to a book tour, and you might have to pay $200 to get a table, to get in that room and talk to people. So you have to do these things,
Yeah, and that
in
part is
order.
not really even about how many books you sell. It's about
Nope.
the people
Yes.
that you meet, the
Yep.
relationships that you build, the opportunities that might be opened up because of somebody that you meet. And so I'm
Mhm.
always, trying to tell that to my authors, like when you're, considering going out and doing these vending events, you got to think
Mhm.
bigger than the book sale, because
Exactly.
sometimes you're not going to recoup the cost that you put out at the table, but you may
Mhm.
get it in other ways after it's over.
And I think
Yeah.
that's the biggest lesson to be learned for a lot of the authors, because they think they have this concept that they're gonna sell all these books, and I'm like,
Right.
that's not how that works.
Mm-mm.
Beautiful if
So
it does, but it's
yeah,
not.
but it's not
It's not
realistic.
how it is.
Yes.
Yeah, it'd be lovely, truly
Exactly.
lovely, but unfortunately, that's not always the case. And so it's really
Right.
getting down to that old fashioned getting out here and doing that footwork. You have to
Mm.
do that footwork.
And like you said, become invisible, and so that
Yeah.
people begin to see your face, know your name,
Hmm.
so that when the conversations come up in rooms that you're not in, they can say, I met a guy or I met a girl, and she wrote this.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
I
Exactly.
know somebody who has the perfect topic for your conference, or
Hmm.
all
Yes.
about making those connections.
Yeah, I agree totally.
Yeah. I started putting out these author real talks, and I was trying to find it as you guys were talking. Oh my gosh. I mean, this might not be the one, but let me just see. So with this one, author real talk, are you writing to sell or writing to impact? Sales are great. Influence lasts longer. A best-selling author builds a brand around purpose, not just pages. And then I'll give the authors a challenge. Write one post that shows how your book helps or inspires others. Let the readers feel your why. When your purpose speaks, people buy. So it's not just about the book
Mhm.
that you're selling, it's about the purpose, and it's about choosing your target audience,
Mhm.
like, or at least trying to figure out who that is, because again, you could be posting something on Facebook and this is just not your target. Like, we need to figure out who actually wants to read this book.
Mhm.
This
Mhm.
book right here, I would recommend to someone who I work with, who's looking to do something
Mhm.
in addition to just going to their 9 to 5, some inspiration to maybe keep them going to the 9 to 5,
Right.
not
Mhm.
just stopping the 9 to 5, you might
Yeah.
Exactly.
need that to pay for the business that you're trying to do.
Mhm.
And for anyone who is, who's looking for a good read and then also just some inspiration, that's this unmask, I'm telling you.
Nice.
This book is a page turner as well as the other ones. Okay, because I think I done read three at least
Yeah.
or
Oh yeah.
something.
So yeah. Yeah, but three.
Is
We
the is the fourth one out,
fourth one is
or
already out. Hmm.
is that the green?
Yes. The green one. Hold on.
Oh, we said we wouldn't do this, but okay. Yeah.
The green one. Yeah, the green one. So yeah. So the green one's out, and the fifth one will be coming shortly. I'm still working on that.
That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Man. And so I know the last time me and Kimmoly spoke, one of the questions that I asked her was,
Mhm.
if your purpose had a color, what would that purpose be? And Kimmoly's wearing my purpose color. Okay, she's wearing
Oh,
green today.
green. Oh, that
So
that green, right?
that green is
Um.
that nature. But what is yours?
Mm, um. So I listened to your when you guys did your last podcast, and you were talking about how you did the research and stuff for your book covers and stuff.
Mhm.
And so I have a new book that's coming out, and I thought about what color did I want, and it really resonated in my spirit as to what color I wanted for this book. And so I came up with rich plum.
Ooh.
Hmm.
And so rich plum is almost, as we talked about the layers in Unmask, it
Mhm.
has layers. And
Mhm.
so
Hmm.
one of the things that rich plum means, and it probably resonates with you ladies as well, is that it talks about sophistication as a woman. We are
Love
sophisticated
it.
women. We're sophisticated beings. We are layered, right? So
Mhm.
sophistication, we have a whisper of mystery. So my Unmasked has some mystery that goes along with that as well too. But it also has creativity. We all are creative minds as publishers. We have to have creativity to be able to push our authors into their creativity, right? And then lastly, we're warm and we're radiant. So all those things brings to the color of rich plum. And so I wanted this new book to resonate that, because the title, if I can say it, I'm gonna plug. Is it okay if I plug this one? You sure? Okay. So the new book that's actually coming out is called Unleashing Your Fierce Persona, a guide for women over 50. And so I wanted, I work my 9 to 5, and I've been in healthcare for over 40 plus years. And so it's always those millennials, I hate to say it, but those millennials that just don't want to take that advice. And I had realized that, you know what, I need to write this, because as I said, writing has saved my life. And I said, well, today is the day that I'm going to write this book. And so I wrote the book. And so I came up and did the research, and I came up with Rich Plum. And so Rich Plum will be the color that I would choose.
Nice.
Okay.
I love it. Sounded
Well,
like
you
the
really-
color I chose today.
Oh, that's pretty.
It's like a deep, deep, dark purplish kind of.
Yeah, that is very pretty.
Yeah.
Rich.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
exactly. See, you're layered. See, you learned something
That
every day.
mystery, huh?
Right. It's a mystery, right? Yes. So
Wow.
yeah, I think doing that research made me
Love
think about
that.
a lot of things. I had came up with a couple more colors, but I
Yeah.
think the Rich Plum is where I'm at.
I
Nice.
love that.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm loving that. So, I got another question. What is it that what's the one thing that you guys do that you would consider to be unleashing your daily brilliance? Like, what is it, that one thing that you do that you could share with the viewers?
So for me, I think you had said before daily or weekly. And I
Yeah.
know a big thing for me is one of the things that came from that mastermind that I invested in. We had pods, which was called pods, which was, since it was such a big group, they grouped us together. And that was over 3 years ago that we were in that mastermind, and have long since stopped. But members of our pod still meet every Sunday afternoon to prepare for the week ahead. Right. So we've grown, in business and in friendship and everything now. And so at the top of the week on a Sunday, we get on, we talk about what we're grateful for. We talk about what inspired us from the week prior. We talk about our wins. And then we talk about what we did for self-care. And then we share what we are working on for the upcoming week, and then what support we need. And so that's kind of I may have forgotten something, but that's like our layout. And so we do that every single week. We don't miss, every once in a while, one of us will have something where we're traveling during that time or whatever, but we still commit and put in a group chat. Here's what we're working on and for the week, and we hold each other accountable. And when we come back that following week, we talk about, we give account for what we did the week prior, the update for what we said we were going to commit to the week prior. And so that's been really helpful to me from an accountability standpoint. And I think for all of us to have that support there, and to just kind of cheer each other on. One of us wins, we all win, and it's a great sisterhood. And so that really works for me from week to week. We look forward to those calls, and we're all in different states. It's
Wow.
a Zoom call. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I love that.
I do too. I think for me, I do a daily affirmation for myself. I think affirming who we are allows us to be able to stand in our purpose for the week. I try to, it's not always peaches and creams, but I always make sure that I always write down something that I'm grateful for. And so I think doing the inspirational affirmations for myself allows me to release some things, right? But also try to encourage somebody else too. So I try to do them on Sundays. I have not been posted them as I should be, but I definitely do write them down every week. It allows me to, as I say, welcome to a brand new week with, and having the positivity. It's not always going to be positive, but at least somebody's there, as you say, supporting you and understanding that walk for you. So just trying to do that for myself and hoping that somebody will take something away from it when I do post.
Nice.
I like that. I think my dogs want to tell what they do on a daily because they just like going at it. But if they will allow me to speak at the moment, one of the simple things that I will say I do on a daily, I try to do on a daily, is I'll do like a simple just to-do list for myself because there's so much that I have to do. Get out, go. I'm in a leave. Okay, I'm sorry. There's so much that I have to do during the week. So like today, for example, I may write what I'd like to accomplish this week.
Mm-hmm.
But then on a daily basis, I take that big list and I just make a daily list, and I don't fill up my entire 8 hours. Like I don't fill up my entire 24 hours, obviously, because I got to sleep some of the time. But I'll just try to do maybe 2 to 4 things maybe from
Mm-hmm.
that list. I don't overwhelm myself. And I always make sure, for me, I got to eat my dessert before I, eat. So I gotta incorporate that. Now, that could be a noun later. That could be a little bag of Skittles. I don't know. I'm going to do something.
I love it.
I'm,
Simple
I'm
pleasures, right?
Yeah.
I'm a dessert person, but I have to make that list because the day will take you and you will get nothing accomplished. And
Right.
before you know it, you 80 years old, ain't got nothing
80.
accomplished that you want. No,
Yeah.
you ain't got nothing accomplished that you want to do. So,
I love a good
and
checklist.
Yeah.
yeah, because even with, our goals and dreams that we want to do, people will say all day long, man, they may say, I want to have a car lot or I want to write that book. Okay, you got 3 publishers here, y'all. Okay, I want to write that book. I want to do this. I want to do that. And it's like you never do it because you didn't put that checklist to make them small steps
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
to accomplish that bigger goal.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes to the big goals, because there's some things that I got cooking.
Nice.
I'm gonna jump out and do something that I've never done before. I'm going to do something new every
Mm-hmm.
month.
Yeah.
And it could simply be buy a new box of cereal or something. It could be go to the grocery store and get something different that I've never had before.
Mm-hmm.
And just do that. Like that for me, that's what I do on a weekly, daily basis. That's kind of like small, but it really makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
like that. I like that. It's still giving you the accountability for yourself and still putting your perspectives in what you want to do. So that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think these 3 things, having accountability partners, that's good to give you that momentum, but then you as an individual
Mm-hmm.
still got to do your part and still
That's
got to
right.
do what you got to do. And
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, be grateful for what you have because although there may have been a government shutdown and people were not getting paid, oh my God, like my heart open because of the things that people were doing, like opening up restaurants and letting people eat free. People was just going out of their way
Beautiful.
doing things for people. And, I'm like, wow, like that is great. And then just working and not getting paid, that is what you call servant leadership. That's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So the 3 things that we said collectively, you guys, it's like If you want to incorporate one thing, all things, whatever, just incorporate something that's going to keep you on a path to whatever your goals is, whatever your yellow brick road to purpose and profit is. So, I mean, with that said, I mean, like, what else would you guys like to share? Because I totally could talk to y'all all day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
When I listened to the podcast last week, you talked about a little bit about staying in your lane, right? And I had to think about that, right? And I said, you know what? Sometimes having the ability, that's a quiet strength in so many regards. You know what I'm saying? When you're able to stay in a lane, you're honoring what was dealt to you. You're like saying, you know what? I'm going to stay in this lane and I'm going to keep these people that are in this lane that know who I am, that love me for who I am and see this dream that I have. So sometimes staying in your lane doesn't mean bad. It actually is a strength because you're now building on what you already have. Right. And so I was thinking about that. I was like, see, I told you I did my assignment.
You did.
So I was like, yeah, let me think about that. Let me really, really hone in on what does that really mean? Does that mean that I'm a failure because I decided to jump ship? Or what does that really mean? And so I said, that is really a quiet strength for a person who says, you know what, I'm not giving up. I'm going to take the people that are here with me. We're going to ride this bus till the wheels fall off, And so that's what I looked at it. Maybe it's a different perspective, but that's how I looked at it.
Yeah. See, so my perspective, just to let you know, because that's almost kind of like one of the first sections of that the chapter 7. It's be okay with being in your lane and playing the cards of life that you're dealt. Otherwise, you may be grasping for something you can't handle. And so, yeah, it wasn't to not jump ship or not do something new or anything like that. It's just I had an experience where, and it was like I had an experience where a male person rang my doorbell, to deliver a package. I come out to get the package, and it was almost like an out of body experience. Like I felt like I was famous or something because they were like, "Oh my gosh, are you the CEO of She Publishing?" It was like, he's like, "I've been delivering packages to you for a very long time, and I get to meet you." And I just, for that little moment, it felt like, oh my gosh, like it was like a great feeling that somebody even gave up. That they're delivering packages to a publishing company and this is their home. But it also brought to mind that if our empires, ever become one of those like famous empires, like, do I really want that attention? Do I really want to be known in that way and have to deal with that? So
how to deal with it.
It was just have a perspective of what you may do, what it may lead to. It could lead to threats. It could lead to people seeing you and liking you and doing inappropriate things. It could lead to several things. And so it just broadened my outlook, and just to say, hey, if you're going to do this, if you want to be famous, know what that entails. Don't want to be a Beyonce and you don't want to entail what she's really going through. Okay. So just have that perspective that be okay with where you are because it's for a reason.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that. And I read that in the chapter too. And I was like, I understood that perspective of it too, because people, my grandma used to always tell me, she says, you're going to sell your soul to the devil for what cost. Right. And so you have to really, you really have to think about those things when you get into that level. Is this really what I want? And so I think aligning yourself with people who will snatch you back and say, hey, I knew when you
grounded.
Right. It keeps you grounded and lets you know that, look, I remember when you was rubbing 2 nickels together, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't adding up to a dime. So So I think we have to have that level of, again, surrounding yourself with good people who are going to tell you how it is. And
Mhm.
it's nothing wrong with that, because you have to understand, like you said, Shenitha, when you get to that level, what do you do? How do you uh, reset yourself to understand that, yes, I've done this for XY reasons, but also too, I need to make sure that big mama, big daddy, whoever is on this side telling me, let me snatch you up and let you know where things are actually supposed to be. So yeah,
Mhm.
I saw the different angles with that as well too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's all just a delicate balance.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I was content with being behind the scenes of LaBoo
Yeah.
Publishing
Mhm.
Enterprise, and then I worked with a coach about personal branding. All about personal branding and being the face of your business. And
Yes.
I'm comfortable back here. I'm good. And my face is not on my website. The whole thing. And it's like, but you have to decide what you want, consider the cost, the risk
Mhm.
factor, and also not being afraid. If you do decide you want to go all in,
Mhm.
not having that fear of success where you hold yourself back because of the fear of those things. I say because something can happen no matter the level, you know.
Mhm.
Yes.
So if you decide that you're all in and we want to grow it to those levels, I mean, because I have enterprise behind my business name for a reason. I
Love
want it,
it.
to grow and be, one of the top contenders. But it's like you said, you have to be aware of what you're asking for and who you have to become in order to have that thing that you say you want,
Mhm.
and whether or not
Absolutely.
you're willing to deal with all of that. So I think there's a level of discernment that comes into play. And, yeah, you just always have to consider the cost.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
that's a
So
great
where can the viewers get these books? Okay, because these books, y'all, I'm telling you, if y'all ain't got them on the shelf, come
wow.
on now,
But
you're missing something.
simple as pie, how to build a six-figure business while working a 9 to 5. You get it right on Amazon. That's the easiest thing. So
Yeah, and so are there any
wherever
other
books
books?
are sold.
Yeah, are there any other
Okay.
books that you've read? Mhm.
Oh, oh yeah. I mean, several. I released a business book and another book at the same time. So at the same time that How to Build a Six-Figure Business, while working 9 to 5 came out, I had Single Not Sad.
Mm,
I
I like
like
that.
Totally
that.
different,
Okay.
aspect. But this is an anthology project with several other women. And actually, I just went to a book club meeting about this last night, and we discussed Single Not Sad is ditching the stereotype that all single women are broken, bitter, or bored.
I
Oh,
That's
love that.
I
Ooh,
like
I love that.
that.
yeah. Some of us
Mm,
Yeah,
are
get into that.
happily single. We're not all sitting around. Like they
and
used to be
moo
sitting around eating bonbons if they even still exist.
Uh-huh.
But some of us are thriving. We're thriving in our careers, thriving in our businesses,
Mhm.
thriving, in just life. And so I wanted to highlight that. And for
Mhm.
some people who may be struggling, with being single, that here are these phenomenal women that are saying, it's okay. Singleness is not a disease. There's nothing wrong with you. You can be single and happy and thriving. And so that's what that book was all about. But it released right around the same time a few months ago. So
I'm about to
I
pick that one
love
up too.
that.
I'm gonna pick that
I
one up.
love that one. Me too. Mhm.
Yeah. So as she's I'm not gonna butcher your
Kimmoly,
name. Kimberly said, you can get the books, the Unmasked series on Amazon, but also ALUREpublishing.net. There you can get them from there as well, or any local bookstore, wherever you shop to get your books. I'm quite sure the book is there as well too. Just equally excited about the upcoming books that I have coming out. I told you about the Unleashing Your Fierce Persona. That one's coming out with a workbook. I'm also working on the Unmasked book 5. That should be coming out in March of next year. And then I got another one that, you know, it's like some days I say I work my 6 to 12. I'm never sleeping. And these titles come in my head, and I was like, you know, let me go ahead and just jot it down. And before I'm knowing, I'm writing 2 books at one time. But again, this is what I love to do. So those are where all the books are at this point.
Okay, well, thank you. And then obviously my books from projects to publisher, major retailers, or you can get it from www.shepublishingllc.com, where we are actually coming out with a holiday packaging, y'all. You know, now the colors are black, rose gold, and white. Those are our colors, but you know, we got a new box. You know, we continue to brand with our authors. We have their books inside of our product packaging. But yeah, so if you are getting any of the books that we have published, you can get it from our website, and you are going to get that lovely packaging, y'all. Now, you know, you want that packaging for the holiday season now.
I love how you do that.
Yeah. Blend it right on in.
You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
So with that said, we are going to be, I think I'm going to bring some authors on here, Yellow Brick Road from projects to profit, purpose to profit. I'm going to get some authors here to join this conversation as well. And I thank you ladies for coming on here. Like, I really think I want to do something bigger with this, y'all. And I got to talk to y'all offline about that. But, with that said, thank you guys for joining us today, and y'all will see us again next time.
See you. Bye, ladies.
Bye.